Today, I got the goods for you because I'm going to show you 5 of the toughest, super durable pocket knives that I just recently found on Amazon. As usual, the links to buy, the prices, even coupon codes will all be listed for you down in the description. So if you see a knife you like in this video, check there. I make it real easy. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Number 5 is going to be an Growl. This is the EF972. All right, now this thing is a tank. It's a good looking 3.74 inch drop point blade in D2 steel. Now, when you have a blade this size, of course the thing is going to drop shut because, it's got like all that like extra weight behind it. So right out of the box, yeah, the action, really good. Now, I brought you in real close just so you can see how thick that the lock bar is on this liner lock. I mean, it almost makes it kind of seem like a frame lock, with micarta overlays, but it is a liner. The handle is a very hand-filling 0.68 inches thick, which really does, it makes this knife just perfect for someone that has maybe, larger hands. Now, to be honest, at first, I wasn't really a fan of this one position. Yeah, no lefty love. It's just a one position pocket clip because of how big it is. I mean, this thing is just huge, but you know what? It's actually starting to kind of grow on me. It really does. It works well, just getting the knife in and out of the pocket, and it fits the overall design of the knife. So at about $27, I mean, we've already established, yeah, this is a good sized knife, and the 5.5 ounce weight definitely reflects that. And that's even with some skeletonization going on inside. Sitting at number 4, I got a Ganzo Firebird. This is the Samson. For about $60, we get a knife that really feels solid in hand and just so well made, with this is like one of the best looking spear point blades that I have seen in a long time. Even though it would be pretty darn cool. Now, both sides of this blade are not sharpened, so that is just a false edge. Anyway, even if it was sharpened, how would that really work? Because when this thing is closed, you know what? You just wouldn't be able to put it in your pocket. Now, this knife features a bolster lock with a 3.7 inch D2 steel blade, and it has like a little thumb platform that you can use to get some more leverage while you're cutting stuff. And that's something that I wish that SOG would have done here with the Pentagon, because you can see there's nothing like that. So if you go to bear down on it, yeah, that's going to hurt. Now, as with all Ganzo knives that I've ever handled, the action in both directions is excellent. And because of that flipper tab design, this thing is impossible to fail that deployment. And yeah, did you see that drop? Oh, that is just smooth. The pocket clip is probably the biggest issue for me here, because it only has, again, yeah, just one position, no lefty love. And it really does, it kind of seems like they were more concerned with how it looks rather than how it functions. I mean, it's not too bad on like thinner pocket material, but the thicker stuff, and it's going to give you a little bit of trouble when you try to get this knife in and out of your pocket. This is just like one of those guilty pleasure knives for me, because that is just, it really is the coolest looking kind of like dagger design. Number 3. Now, this comes from a brand that you might not have heard of yet. It is the QY-GMGS. Yeah, I don't think they like vowels too much. And this model is the YHZ. I reviewed the D2 version of this knife a while back, which, I really did like. So they went ahead and they took that budget design and just gave it some massive upgrades. So instead of a D2 liner lock, we now get a titanium frame lock, with a 3-inch drop point blade in M390. And look at that. Yeah, that is like totally sterile. No billboarding. I've got plenty of room on this 4¼ inch long handle that, if you look close, you can see it doesn't look like it has much traction, but it's bead blasted. So the scales, they do not feel slick at all. Now, at first, I thought that this knife had 3 opening options, but you can see when the blade is closed, that fuller is just not exposed enough to where you have access to it, which, that's not really a big deal, because I can easily go ahead and spidey flick this open by just using the thumb hole. The action on mine is very good, and this thing was it was dropping shut like right out of the box. And even without like any kind of skeletonization, going on inside, this thing is super lightweight at about 3.4 ounces. Usually I could honestly care less about the box that the knife comes in, but this one is really worth mentioning because the presentation here is a lot nicer than knives I own costing twice as much. So for about $147, it comes in this little it's like a faux pelican cargo case that I can already think of a bunch of different ways that I'm probably going to repurpose this. Number 2. Now, this is my first knife from 6 Leaf. It's a button lock called the SL18. If you've been wanting to try out a button lock knife, but just, haven't yet, this really is a great lower cost option at about $45. So we get it's a 3.2 inch drop point in D2 steel with a really nice stonewash finish. Now the 4.1 inch micarta handle gives this just an excellent blade to handle ratio. Some of you might not really care for, the thicker 0.64 inch handle on a medium-sized knife like this, but I gotta tell you, it really does. It really fills the hand and just provides a comfortable grip. The out-of-box action on this thing is very good, and I like how the button is practically flush with the scales, while the blade is closed, because that way, it's going to be less likely to accidentally open, when you don't want it to. But one thing that I've noticed that's really hard to do with this knife is a slow roll, because whenever I start to go ahead and push on the thumb stud, you can see that blade just wants to jump right out of there. Now, unfortunately, the pocket clip has just one position, so we get no lefty love. All right, you ready to see number 1? It is going to be another button lock from 6 Leaf, and I guess they just don't like naming their knives anymore, because this is the SL16. I think that $119 for a full titanium button lock with an M390 blade is actually a pretty good deal. Now, I wasn't sure how much I would like this knife, because it's a little bit smaller than I thought. That blade is going to be 2.95 inches long with a handle length of just under 4 at 3.97. For me, the handle is just going to be just long enough where, I can fit all of my fingers with my medium-sized hand. But, if you're somebody with the larger hands, this knife might not work out for you. Now, I really love how wide the blade is. And as you can see, we get three different opening options using either the thumb studs, the fuller, or of course that button itself. The out-of-box action was really good, but you know what? At first I could kind of feel like a slight drag kind of going on inside when I would close it. So I went ahead and I opened this knife up. I added some oil inside at the pivot on those ceramic bearings inside. And now, yeah, that action is just, man, that is fantastic. Now that button and the pocket clip here are really the only issues that I have with this knife. The button, as you can see, yeah, that thing just sticks out a ton, a lot farther than I would like it to. And the pocket clip, I mean, while it is a milled titanium one, it's going to be just one position. So no lefty love with this one either. Right about now, there's going to be a video up on the screen that I personally picked out for you to go ahead and watch next. And hey, if you haven't already, consider subscribing if you're looking for knife reviews. They get right to the point. Hey, I got to run, but thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I will just see you at the next video. Take care.